Okay, just a quick heads up, I am recording this, so, because it's got to go on my YouTube channel.
Hey,
Woohoo!
I feel special now.
Yeah, should. Haha!
Trust me, I'm special.
Of course you are, Vixen. You are literally. My whole entire clan. They keep asking because I got my own clan now, and one of my friends who's in my clan, he is loving the German artillery. I mean, he got Top Gun in artillery, for crying out loud. He loves the artillery.
It's easy done if you know what you're doing.
Exactly. He likes the Grilly, and he's just unlocked the Hummel. He's working on getting the money to buy the Hummel. And my question I wanted to ask you, Vixen, if you're a starting new artillery player, what's the best nation to start off with to break you in?
I would actually say the USA, because I think the V, the wideness of the V is a lot more forgiving than the Germans, because they have very small Vs.
Okie dokie, so Americans, thank you. What in your personal opinion? Now these are questions that I've got that was asked to me by my clanmate Nugget. That's his name, Nugget14. Don't ask. What in your opinion is the benefits over? For example, like you're saying, the Americans have a wider gun traverse. What overall would be the ideal nation to stick with in? Because I know a lot of people say the German artillery is more accurate, the Russian artillery is more damaging, you know what I mean? What do you favour? Do you favour accuracy, or do you favour damage, reload rate, etc., etc.?
Damage, definitely damage. It's nice to know when you do hit it, you're gonna hurt it.
Okay, so you're because I've been playing the KV, the Soviets, and I've got the KV2, and I've just unlocked the S51 artillery, and I looked at its Top Gun, and I almost shit myself with the amount of damage it does.
The S51 is a very nice artillery piece, and it's heavily underused, really, because there are other ones that are generally considered to be slightly better, but in damage wise and what it can actually do, a good skilled player can make that into a very effective artillery piece.
Okay, and what do you consider the perfect platooning, if you will, with an artillery piece? Light tanks, medium tanks, what?
Like one v Vixen.
Yeah, I was just thinking, actually, yeah, well, I mean, obviously you need a scout, because your Arty's no good without eyes. But I also think probably a heavy. So a light, a heavy, and an artillery, I think, can be quite effective. At least the heavy can take the punch if anything comes at you.
Okay, it's just a couple of days ago I was platooned with him, and again, he's got the Grilly, so it's tier 5, and it only sees a max of like tier 6, tier 7s. And I looked at him and goes, I've got a whole bunch of light tanks, I've got a whole bunch of mediums, I've got a whole bunch of heavies, I've got a whole bunch of tank destroyers. What do you want me to play as? And he was like, dude, I don't care. So I'm like, okay. So the first game I jumped in my Jackson. Everyone knows I love my Jackson tank destroyer. Yeah, we were fighting tier 9s. And we didn't have a light tank, it was just me and him, until another clanmate jumped in with his T29 heavy, and then all of a sudden we were seeing nothing but tier 7s. So I'm like, okay, I'll jump in my T29. I did that, we started seeing tier 9s. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Do you have any idea how hard it is for a Grilly to try and damage a tier 9?
I mean, I have a different perspective on this. I mean, I think the best sort of platoon that you can have with an artillery is another artillery piece and a scout. Working together artillery, once you get into clans and, you know, or even platooning in a very heavy way, it's very, very good to actually work together. Two people can take out a heavy tank, or even the heaviest tank in the game, very quickly that way.
That's a good point. It's a good point you brought up there. Again, you know, I'm not much of an artillery player. You guys know this. Last time I tried playing artillery, I almost killed myself as well as a teammate because a rock got in the way. But
we love you anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
I actually saw an FV 304 kill itself trying to shoot a tank point blank range and it bounced off and exploded and killed the artillery piece. It was so funny.
And
he killed himself and missed, didn't do any damage on the tank he was shooting at.
wow. Now, another question. A lot of players keep saying, what sort of mods can someone download and use to become a better artillery player? Is there any out there that you yourself use, Vixen, or are you just a straight vanilla player?
No, I mean, there was one I had that let you zoom higher when you're in God mode. But when you do that, you can't actually see the shell come from the enemy artillery. So when you're doing anti-arty, it's actually no good for you. So even though you can see more of the field and where the tanks are, it actually lessens the detail, so it doesn't help. So I would actually say that practice and no mods is the best way for artillery.
Okay.
The only nice, you have one mod like AOM or something that tells you where the tanks were last spotted.
Yeah.
That's always handy, so an artillery police knows the right area to aim at.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that,
see,
nothing.
The mods I'm using right now, battle-wise, is I'm using Locustan's minimap mod, where it tells me where the last enemy was spotted. And when I hold down control, it brings the map up into the center of my screen, so it's easier for me to click. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And I'm also using a custom gun reticle. In my garage, I'm using Tank Corral because I've got so many bloody tanks. I hate doing that whole single bar swipe across thing. I'm like, no, I need more than that. So that's what I run. But I know a lot of people say that there is a mod out there that tells you the shell travel time. So you can take that into effect, because I know some people that use it, some people that don't. The guy in question, Nugget, the clan member in question, he's using the same mod pack as me, so I know exactly what he's got, and I know that that mod pack doesn't have the shell travel time, because if it did, I'd be a better freaking tank destroyer, but I'm not. And he's going to be sending me some of his replays so I can take a look at it and whatnot, and whatnot. I told him to upload them to whatreplays.com instead. That way, you yourself can, if you want to, download it, look at it, and give feedback. By the way, I've been doing nothing but saying how big and badass you guys really are. You know that, right?
I appreciate that. But one thing I would say, I watch Vixen shoot artillery all the time. It's almost a pastime sport sometimes. But it's not necessarily about how long your shell travels from A to B, or what your reload times are. I suppose it's actually how you shoot that tank, where you put your reticle above that tank in position to the tank. If they are down a hill or up a hill, makes a difference. And I've seen shots that I didn't think was possible. I've seen Vixen do, because she knows exactly where to do it, and it's not to do with the mods that you use. It's down to literally practice of doing it. And not relying on mods, but doing this over and over again, and you become so used to doing it, you don't have to rely on your mods. You know how long it's going to take from A to B, how long the shell's going to take to get there. And I think that's the difference. That she doesn't rely on the mods, she does this out of pure natural ability.
Yeah, see, I've noticed that some mods that I used to be a crutch to me, like the whole armor hit penetration thing. I didn't used to have the mod that say shoot me here, where it had like a pink spray paint on the side, shoot me here and you hit my ammo rack and none of that crap. I didn't have any of that crap, and I've told any of my clan members, I catch you using that shit, you're out, you're gone. That crap, I'm sorry, I used to drive tanks, we never painted on the side of our bloody tanks, shoot here if you want to kill us. That's just ridiculous. But the point I'm trying to make is there were some mods out there that I used to consider a crutch, and I couldn't do good without them, or so I thought. And then one day on the test server, I was playing, because you can't have mods on the test server, it's all vanilla, and I realized that, oh shit, I need this mod that tells me their view range, or I need this mod that and then I went back into the regular world of tanks, uninstalled all of my mods, and tried playing vanilla, and all of a sudden, I realized, I needed this is a crutch. I needed that is a crutch. And then I've slowly weaned myself off. Right now, the only mod pack I really can't live without is the Locustan's minimap mod. That's it. And all that does, again, if I spot a VK up on a hill and he disappears, I'll get a little dot on my map saying there was a VK spotted here. You know, that's it. And that's really not much of a crutch. It just tells me, okay, I've got to be careful because there's a VK that was spotted over there. That's it. You know, avoid that area like the plague if I'm in a light tank, because he'll just rape me.
Yeah, I see your point of view. I think the biggest mistake that people make is they concentrate on what's in front of them, what they can see on the screen, instead of concentrating on what's happening in the minimap. Situational awareness of what's happening on the minimap can save your life and can help artillery players focusing on what they're shooting and where to shoot next, rather than seeing something, taking your time to take the aim and waiting for your red skull to come down to shoot, and by that time the spot has winked out and they're no longer visible to shoot.
Yeah. See, and that's another thing I've noticed, that when I do platoon up with his real name's Robert, but he likes to be called Nugget. I don't know why. And so when I'm playing with Nugget and he's in his artillery pieces, I mean, he's got tier 3, 4, he's got artillery pieces from all different nations. I think all his entire lineup is nothing but artillery, and he just knows it because it pisses me off. But he's he's good, but he's just not Vixen good yet. And I said to him, plain and simple, when I do get to bump into you guys again, and I'm going to ask you all the questions I can think of the top of my head and things like that. And again, some of those questions were, what mods do you use, things like that, just so that he can know. But the one question that he always keeps bringing up to me is why is it, and this is the funniest thing, why is it that Germans, the German line, because he likes German artillery for some reason, he started to sell off the rest of his artillery, but he said, do the Germans get a tank like the KV-2? And I'm like, no, they don't. And he's like, bollocks. Because he just likes the whole derp factor of the KV-2, and I'm like, well, you could always get the BL-10 in the ISU 152, I guess. That's a big sneezy artillery piece. Technically, the 152 was an artillery tank.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but he's like, oh, okay, but no, he hates anything non-artillery, simply because he's like, I'm so sick and tired of being in a medium tank, getting to a spot that I'm nice and comfy, and a heavy pushes me out into the enemy fire, because he wants that rock or something. And I'm like, that's understandable, but you're going to get some artillery players that are like that. You're in your nice little bush, and all of a sudden you're being pushed, and you realise it's a bigger artillery piece pushing you out of the way of this little bush, and that bush can barely even cover half his track, because he just thinks that's the magic bush that's going to save me. You know what I mean? And I said to him, you're going to come across them. There's assholes everywhere. Insert Woody and Buzz meme right here, and I tried to explain to him, and that's the thing, he works graveyards, so when he's on, I'm usually about to fall asleep and log off. But I did tell him that once, if I see you, Bright, or I see you, Vixen, I was going to pick your brains about artillery, pros and cons, best tanks to platoon with, things of that nature. That idea of 2 artillery is not a bad idea there, Bright. So I hate to say this, but I may have to start working on my artillery. I hate artillery. But there
is nothing to hate about Arty. It's lovely.
It is if
it just takes patience.
It is
None
if
of the other tanks take patience.
It is if
Arty does.
Being a T-28 prototype, tell me you don't have to have patience then when you're only doing 14 kilometers an hour, when a TOG can overtake you.
14 kilometers an hour is like Speedy Gonzales compared to a GW Panther Type P friggin' Tier 7 or whatever it is. Tier 8 GW Tiger P artillery piece that goes along at about 3 kilometers an hour and doesn't turn for toffee and shoots once every 4 weeks. It's like, that takes patience.
Once every 4 weeks.
The only fantastic thing about it is it is deadly accurate when you finally get the shot.
Yes, I know. My M103 knows that the hard way. One shot takes out both my loaders, my driver, my commander, both my tracks. I'm on fire and my gun is destroyed. Yeah, trust me, I know.
Why, did they miss?
Yes!
If it was me, you'd have been dead.
I know, and that's why do you know, I actually use that as a taunt. I'm like when I'm in something like my little slow ass piece of crap VK3601H, and I'm hiding behind a rock and artillery splashes next to me, I'm like, ha ha, you should learn to shoot. Talk to Vixen. And they're like, who the hell's Vixen? And I'm like, you do not know the legend of Vixen. Oh my god.
Duck next time.
Yes. I should have ducked. I should have dipped, dodged, dived, and ducked again. But that's why now.
Oh, I heard a good one the other day. It was the you must do the anti-Arty wiggle.
Yes, the whole Miley Cyrus twerk thing. Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. I know. My super Persian can contest to that. It doesn't work.
I heard one yesterday that was doing the anti-Arty wiggle. It was basically going backwards, forward, left, right, backwards, forward, left, right. Back. After the third time, I thought I know exactly where he's going to be, because even though I couldn't see him, because I knew what he was doing, and he kept doing it. So again, killed another non-lit tank.
Now, I am recording this, and I do apologise if this what I am about to say offends anyone. But basically, toughen up, okay? But plain and simple, players that do that are like the same idiots that wear their pants around their ankles and think it's fucking gangster. When in truth, you're just signalling to every queer around you, "Come fuck me in the arse. I'm a prison bitch." You know what I mean? Doing the exact same shit repeatedly. Back, forward, left, right. Back, forward, left, right. Back, forward, left, right. You're like, hey, robot? Yeah. They know where you're at. No, they don't. Boom.
Especially as with artillery, we have God mode. So we can see things differently to tanks.
You know, that's...
And when they're doing something repeatedly, it is so easy.
See, that's another thing. Because I've actually played as artillery, I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm nowhere near the freaking... I'm not even worthy to walk on the same grass as you when it concerns artillery. But when it does, that's the first thing that comes to my mind is when I'm starting at the map, I'm like, don't knock anything over. Why? Because they're looking at us. They think I'm insane. I'm like... They are looking at you. Artillery immediately goes into God mode, scans right over to the enemy flag, and sees what gets knocked down. And what gets knocked down, all of a sudden it's control, click on the map, click on the map, click on the map, click on the map. Now the enemy knows exactly where you're pushing. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you've got, 7 heavies and 2 tank destroyers, and artillery's blowing the shit out of you. Simply because the moron next to you knocked over a lamppost. And yet everyone else avoids this lamppost.
Yeah. And you notice when you knock things over, it drops down the way you're going.
Exactly. See, they may not be able to... and when you try to... and that's the fucked up thing. I mean, I've seen players that are like 60, 70 purple colour percent... 60, 70 purple colour percent win rate say, well, if they can't see you, they don't see it fall over. I'm like, motherfucker, yes they do! You're just a 50-something percenter. You don't know shit. I'm like, really? We'll fucking see about that. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, he's getting artilleried by like 6 freaking things like, how the fuck do you spot me? And he's ordering all of our light tanks to run Indian circles around him to see if they can spot the light tank that's supposed to have lit him up. And artillery's like, no, moron, I saw you knock down the fence. And it's like, you're hacking, you have to be. And I'm like, they don't have to spot you knocking down the fence will just fall over. Idiot, And there I am. And I'm in a 5916. I'm in the Chinese little light tank, the 5916. And he's trying to order me to go out in the middle of the open. And I'm like, no, go fuck yourself. I am going this way. I went that way. And all of a sudden, I've lit up, 2 of their light tanks, me, and one of them was a 5916 with the autoloader, which is a whole bunch of shit, 'cause I hate the autoloader. Has no penetration, there's no point in having the autoloader on that tank. Took him out. Our friendly tank destroyer took out the other light tank, I think it was a Panzer 38 NA. And I managed to sneak in and take out 2 of the 3 artillery. The third one literally just TD'd me, And I'm like, ha-ha! And out of nowhere, artillery just counter-batteried and just wiped out this poor GW Panther. And this other... And it was a freaking KV-4 that was, knocking shit over. And I'm like, look, dude, I know you're about as big as the fucking Titanic. But could you try not to knock down everything? And
that's... This is the difference in pubs and hardcore clans. In hardcore clans, they teach them not to do that, and people don't do it.
Yeah.
Much is there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing that pisses me off. My God. Oh yeah, by the way, TIL is the Iron Legion. I left Old Farts with Guns about, 3-4 months ago, because apparently Oldie had passed away, and someone else in the clan had, convinced Wargaming to take over the clan, and the clan went to shit in a handbag. All of a sudden we had squeakers everywhere, even in tank companies, team battles, and I was like, you know what, I can't handle this shit, and so I just left. I left. I couldn't handle it. And some of my viewers on my Twitch live stream, they were like, well, we're in a clan, do you want to join us? And I'm like, okay, how old are you? One guy said, oh, I'm 17, and I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, bloody squeaker, And he's like, but no, talk to me. So I jumped on to TeamSpeak with him. Kid's voice is so goddamn deep, he looks like he could be the next James Earl Jones, And I'm like, there's no way you're 17. And he's like, yeah, I'm 17. I'm like, oh, okay, do you smoke cigars? And he's like, no, I just naturally have a deep voice. I'm like, oh, okay. So
the trouble is with this and the whole thing about people being squeakers is I know some very young players who are extremely not just good but also well-mannered, polite, knowledgeable, and it's like everything else in society, it's the minority that buck it up for everyone else. Yeah. But
when I joined the clan, the old clan leader said that he's quitting World of Tanks to move on to greener pastures, and asked anyone if they're interested in taking over the clan. And I didn't know this at the time, but everyone voted for me, apparently, even though I didn't know it was going on. I logged in one day, and it's like, you got so many messages on the website, logged in there, and it's like, you're now clan leader. I'm like, what? And all of a sudden, now I'm clan leader of the Iron Legion. And we only have about 7 or 8 members. We're not that big, we're not MLG or anything. We're a whole bunch of like-minded guys that hang out and have fun and stuff. And I keep mentioning that one freaking medium tank company battle that we had where Vixen killed 4 KV1s, one shot in each KV1Ss, freaking one shot in each and every single one of them. And I was just laughing my ass off.
That's because she's a Jedi and uses the Force.
Oh, Force? Yeah, she used that shell with Force right up their tailpipes. And those KV1S players were screaming, how the fuck can a grilly just one-shot us? And she's like, magic. Just the answer was just so hilarious. Magic. But yeah.
Shall we get on and start?
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna end this interview here, guys. And I'm gonna be editing this interview in with the artillery info for you guys. So remember, ignore everything I say in the middle of that video and just listen to what Vixen says, because she's the queen of artillery. Okay, guys? And whatever you do, don't send endless friend requests to Vixen232 or Bright. Okay? Trust me, they don't want to hear your rah, 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 okay? If you have something nice to say, just send them a message. Say, thank you for sitting down, giving me the information that I needed. That's great. If they say you want a platoon, great. But let them make the move first. Don't demand it of them, because normally none thing you're going to get is an ignore button. So anyway, I'm going to end this interview here. Will they stay safe, have fun, keep your shows flying, keep your enemies dying. Cobra Commander is out.